was watching Martin O'Neill's press conference just there before coming on, and if you've not already seen it, it's well worth a watch. I think it's going to be Martin O'Neill's very last press conference as Celtic manager and as manager of any team, I would suggest, at 73 years of age. And if you get the chance, I would definitely recommend catching it. I'll send a link here actually in the comments for this one just so you can catch it, but you'll also see it on YouTube because it's got everything in it. He's serious when he has to be serious. He's humorous at different times. And he's also sincere at other times. He agreed jokingly when it was put to him that, yeah, he probably agrees that he's the second best manager ever at Celtic after Jock Stein. But aside from that, he was also very quick to talk up the players after the big win against Feyenoord on Thursday night. And also to credit his coaching staff. That includes Sean Maloney, Mark Fotheringham, Steve McManus. These are guys that he coached back in the day. And also a wee joke about saying to them, listen, calm down, lads, I know how this game works, but he was quick to credit them for the work that they've done since they came in with him. What was that now? 5 weeks ago. That'll be 5 weeks on Tuesday. And yeah, speaking of the Feyenoord one, he was saying that first and foremost he enjoyed the win because it is all about winning. He was quick to stress that. It's nice if you can play well at the same time, and Celtic did play well on Thursday, really well actually. But the most important thing is winning. And Martin O'Neill knows that. And that's what he's done since coming back in. He said 6 games as interim manager. He's won 5 of them. And only losing that one at Midtjylland, and he's got a chance now to go out on a high with a win against Hibs tomorrow at Easter Road, and that's what we're here for. This is the Countdown to Kick-Off show, and yeah, let's see if Martin O'Neill can sign off in style, because that'll be exactly where he's at. He was asked about his legacy, and he repeated before, that doesn't bother him. That's not what he's here for. He's got a job to do. He jokes that his wife said that he'd probably mess it up, but so far so good. And he'll be going all out to make sure we get the win that we need at Easter Road. I'm recording this on Saturday night around about 5 o'clock, and Hearts have just drawn with Motherwell at Fir Park. They've dropped 2 points yet again. They've only now got 1 win in their last 5 games, and that means they're now 5 points clear at the top of the table. But Celtic have got 2 games in hand, and we face Hearts at Celtic Park next weekend, so all to play for heading into that. And in terms of Martin O'Neill and the timescales, we all know it by now, but he said that he fully expects movement on the Wilfred Nancy position at the beginning of next week, and Martin O'Neill can then go back to finishing off that coffee he started in London some 5 weeks ago, and I think he's quite happy with it. Of course, there's lots of clamour for him to get the job based on what he's done, based on that record that I've spoken of, and absolutely based on what he done in the Netherlands on Thursday night, but I don't think he wants it. I think he's really enjoyed this spell back. It's really reignited, things in him. But I think he'll now be happy to take a step back. And as mentioned elsewhere on different recordings, Martin O'Neill doesn't play back up to anybody. He's not here to be a part of the support team to Wilfred Nancy. And I heard a guy on Radio Clyde last night actually saying, could Martin O'Neill just come in and Wilfred Nancy could shadow him for a number of weeks? Absolutely not. That is just not the way. And Martin O'Neill is his own man. And Wilfred Nancy will be his own man too. And you need to give everyone their place. And if you think Wilfred Nancy's the guy, and it looks like Celtic do think he's the guy, then he gets full control when he comes in next week, and he can take care of Dundee, who had a good win today. They beat St Mirren 3-1 at home, but Dundee will be the first game for Wilfred Nancy, and he can take things forward. But just in terms of the overall picture at Celtic, Martin O'Neill was again asked about the unrest and the general situation, and he said, he's not a politician, but he knows how to play the game. He knows his words, carry weight, carry meaning, and he said, and it's something we all know, that Celtic are a far stronger force united than divided. But he also stressed that he hopes that the questions that were due to be answered at the AGM can be answered at some point in the near future. And he was wise enough to say that some people might not like the answers to those questions, but they should be answered. And I think there's a statement from the collective in recent days where they have put 10 questions, I think, to the board. And I'd like to think Celtic can find a way to respond to this, because it has been so uneasy, amongst all parties in recent weeks and months, but open dialogue is the way forward. We don't need to go over the reasons why that never happened at the AGM, but it didn't happen. And to move things forward in some way, shape or form, there needs to be that, that open discussion. So if there's a way to do so, or a way for Celtic to present those answers back to the fans, then I'd like to see that happen. And I think Martin O'Neill would also like to see that. And it leans towards something that was mentioned to me by Eddie. Eddie's a fan of the show, and he asked the question of Martin O'Neill as chairman. And I thought that was an interesting one. I hadn't really considered it. There's different names doing the rounds. Willie Hockey's name still seems to be doing the rounds. Peter Lawwell, of course, as it stands, remains as chairman, but that may change. in the near future or the medium term future. And I wonder if it would be a perfect role for Martin O'Neill, because he's got that real middle ground thing going on of... That's the end of the preview on this bonus episode from Celtic Exchange, but the full episode's available right now over on Patreon, which is where you'll find all of our additional shows, including pre- and post-match for every game, a range of bonus features, plus the daily podcast, which we record every weekday morning. As a member, you'll also get access to our exclusive members-only Celtic Chat community and a host of other benefits, all for just £5 a month. And you can be there in just a few clicks by heading to patreon.com/Celtic Exchange, where you'll join the growing community of Celtic fans who now get more from Celtic Exchange each and every week. So that's patreon.com/Celtic Exchange, or simply click the link in the show notes for this episode.